changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with some new favorites for you from our new book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, a book of Christmas miracles. This is our book that we're using to support the Marines Toys for Tots program, which of course makes Christmas miracles for millions of children. You know, everyone has their ups and downs in life, and many of our writers share stories with us about the Christmases when they were in one of those down phases and how someone helped them, whether it was the Marines Toys for Tots program or another program. And many of these stories made their way into our book of Christmas miracles because when you've got kids or grandkids, you want to make the holidays magical for them. And that sometimes means accepting help from strangers, and then our writers tell us about it. So our first story is from one such writer, Ivy Olson, and she tells us that she woke up on Thanksgiving Day on the mattress that she was sharing with her two young sons, and she felt nothing but despair. She was 25. She was recently divorced. She had no money, and somehow she had to make it 3 days to payday. And it was Thanksgiving, and there was nothing left to eat in the house but 3 hot dogs. The worst part was how isolated she felt. She had no friends around who knew that she was in trouble and would help her, and no one had invited this newly divorced mother to come to their Thanksgiving dinner. But it was Thanksgiving, so for the sake of the children, Ivy put on a happy face and a happy voice, and she said, "Come on, boys, today's a special day. We're having a picnic." They went to the park, and they cooked their 3 hot dogs on the grill, and the kids played. But on the way home, the boys asked for more food, and Ivy was scared because she didn't know how she was going to put together even their next meal. And then they entered their apartment building, and this old woman, who Ivy had never seen before, stopped them. She was a tiny thing, wearing a simple print dress, and she had this wispy white hair pulled up in a bun, like a classic old lady look. "Oh, honey," the old lady said, "I've been waiting for you. You left this morning before I could catch you. I've got Thanksgiving dinner ready for your family." Well, Ivy didn't know this lady, so she said no, but the lady persisted, and Ivy looked at her boys, and she felt the hunger pangs in her own stomach, and she thought, I should say yes. So she did, and they went to the old lady's apartment, which was on the ground floor, and when she opened the door, Ivy saw a beautiful table set for 4, and they had the perfect Thanksgiving dinner with all the trimmings. And Ivy relaxed, and she let herself enjoy the meal and the old lady's company, and they talked, and she told the old lady how tough it had been for her as a new single mother and how much she appreciated her help. And she and her boys left that evening with stacks of Tupperware filled with all of the Thanksgiving leftovers, and Ivy wrote that she felt transformed. Getting that help from that lady made Ivy feel more capable and more able to power through the tough times that she was going through. So early the next day, Ivy went back downstairs with the Tupperware containers now cleaned out and washed, and she knocked on the lady's door, but there was no answer. So she went outside and she looked through a window into that ground floor apartment, and what she saw was a complete shock because the apartment was completely empty. So Ivy asked the building manager what happened to the old lady who was just there yesterday. And he said, "There was no old lady. That apartment has been vacant for months." And Ivy didn't know what to think. And for many years, she didn't tell anybody about this story because it just sounded so unbelievable. But finally, after she married a pastor, she decided to tell his congregation at their church. She told them what happened and how she wanted to give back now. She wanted to create a program to help other women in the same situation that she had been in. And she started that program back in 1989, and it's still running today in Hawaii, but now it's huge. And this program has helped thousands of single mothers and their children with emergency food while they're getting back on their feet. So what did Ivy name her program? The name it still carries today, Angel Network Charities. Our next story is by another person with that same last name, Olson, but no relation to Ivy Olsen. Vincent Olsen lives in the Chicagoland area, and his story is more recent. It's about a visit to his local Target at Christmas time when he had just been out of the military for less than a year. He and his wife wanted to make a memorable, fun holiday for their 7-year-old son, but they had just moved, and money was pretty tight. So when they looked at the Christmas trees in the store, Vincent actually had to call his credit card company to see if he even had enough credit left to buy the tree that their son wanted. And it turned out that they could not afford it. Well, a lady had been watching this whole time. She saw Vincent call the credit card company. She saw him give his wife the bad news. She saw his wife tell their son that they needed to pick a less expensive tree. And Vincent walked away after that, and he looked back and saw that that lady who had been watching them had walked up to his wife, and she was quietly talking to her now, and then they exchanged a hug. Vincent went back and asked his wife what happened, and she said the lady had asked if he was a veteran, and when she heard that he was, she had handed his wife 5 $20 bills and told her to have a Merry Christmas. Well, they didn't know what to do. They'd never been in this position before. Should they give the money back? But then they decided that the best way to honor this wonderful woman's kindness was to do just as she had instructed and use the money to have a Merry Christmas. So they picked up that tree that their son wanted, and they headed right to the checkout. And then they saw the lady in another line at the checkout, and Vincent walked over to thank her and give her a hug himself. And his wife and son were waving at the lady from their line. They went home that night, they set up that tree, and ever since then, every Christmas, the Olsen family has retold the story of that kind stranger and how much her generosity meant to them. Christmas Miracles. That's what Chicken Soup for the Soul, a book of Christmas miracles, is all about. It's 101 stories that will get you into the holiday spirit and perhaps give you some ideas for holiday giving that will help someone else and, frankly, make you feel terrific. So we're donating part of the proceeds from each book sold to the Marines Toys for Tots program. You can donate to the Toys for Tots program. Just take a new unwrapped toy to a Toys for Tots collection site. They're all over the United States. And then the Marines will take those toys and distribute them to needy families in your own community. The book has actually been a big hit. It's a bestseller. People seem to love this beautiful cover that we have on it. And it's actually the single biggest printing we've ever done for a Christmas book. You can find this book of Christmas miracles wherever books are sold, including at Barnes & Noble, at Walmart, at Target, at Rite Aid, at your local independent bookstore, at Books A Million, at Chapters Indigo stores, at Costco Canada, at Amazon, and wherever else you buy your books. I'm Amy Newmark. Thank you for listening to the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast today. You can visit our website, chickensoup.com, and you can sign up to get a free daily newsletter. We will actually send you a Chicken Soup for the Soul story every day right to your email inbox, and we'll be sending out plenty of great Christmas stories. Come back next time to meet Cynthia Graham, who found a really interesting way to handle the down phase that she was experiencing in her life. She actually hit the road, and we're going to hear all about it from her and how she now travels all over the world, living in beautiful, exotic places as a house sitter.